3 things to pack in your emotional suitcase if you're going to be a passport bro. All right, so I would say the first thing you need to pack in your suitcase is the ability to be alone. Now, this is probably one that most people don't really consider, but you really need to focus on this. You really, really need to think about this one in particular. You're going to spend time alone, and if you make a permanent move, you're going to spend a lot of time alone. The first year or so, you're going to spend time alone because you don't speak the language. And you're going to have to put in a lot of work. You can learn the language to a point overseas, but when you get to that country, you sit down in that and you're hearing people speak in a certain dialect that you don't know, it's not in your textbook. You're going to have to put in the work, the time, the hours to learn that language. You're going to have to put it in. And that's going to be lonely, and it's going to be you and quiet. And you're going to have to put in that work for you to get a full experience in that country. Now, after you learn the language, then you're going to deal with just a difference in customs. If you don't have a family, a permanent girlfriend, you're going to spend a lot of time alone. And even if you do have a girlfriend and you're not married and you don't have your family yet, when the holidays roll around, she's going to go back to her family's house, especially if you're not super serious. People spend the holidays with their families in a lot of countries, right? And these holidays vary, but when you have the holidays like Christmas and New Year's and this extended holiday breaks, there might be times when you're going to spend days, maybe even weeks alone. And it's not like America where you're surrounded by your loved ones or your friends. You can't call your friends up and say, hey, let's go to Wingstop and go watch the game. It's going to be different. The games will be on at different times. People will be available or not available. And you're going to have to get used to spending those times, maybe a Christmas or a birthday, times like that alone. Now, if you can not only learn to be alone, but thrive and make the most of your time, be reading books, studying, hobbies in that language, then this is for you. If you're going to struggle with being alone and you got to have a different girl in your room every night, or you always got to have a girlfriend, I suggest maybe you just visit for a week or two and then go back home, go back to the States. Because if you want to live overseas, you're going to have to get used to a lot of time alone. The second thing I would say that you need is, and I'm going to show you this picture because I want you to see this food from where I'm living, is that you need an open, non-judgmental mind. This is a food called ikatskuri, which is actually you can see this, the squid is swimming around here. When it's going to get cooked, right? And when I say you need to have an open, non-judgmental mind, you can't go around imposing American standards on other cultures. So I'm going to actually fast forward this because I want you to see he's getting ready to, this is him taking out of the water. And you have to understand that just like as Americans, we come home with our shoes on and we walk in the house with our shoes on, that's disgusting to other cultures. When this is him. This is the you can see it's still alive, and you start taking care of it as it's living. And as disgusting or as crazy as you might want to put your judgment on this kind of activity, when people look at Americans, Americans go to all you can eat bars and everyone touches all the utensils with their own hands and shovels their food onto their plate. For other cultures, that's disgusting. Or like I said earlier, wearing your shoes in the house. And so, this is very easy as American to watch something like this and pass judgment. But you should refrain from doing that. So this is him cutting it up. Cutting it, and of course it hasn't, this is as is, right? And I want you to see him plate it here. So he's gonna plate it here. And yeah, he's gonna remove the ink. And to be honest with you, there's actually a restaurant here that makes a black pasta sauce out of this ink, and people love it. And so this is him plating the last part of it, and this is a delicacy. It's not, you could watch this and think, oh my gosh, how dare they? But And I want you guys to see this because I think this is the, you're gonna see it's still alive. You see that? So when I tell you guys that you need to not pass judgment, you're going to come into situations where you're going to see something and think, I've never seen that before. I don't understand how you can allow this, but you're not in America. The rules are different, and you have to not be judgmental because you'll be out of place. Just like if you walk into someone's house and they're walking into their house with their shoes on, and they say, oh, why are you wearing your shoes in your house? American people do that. And it's not their right or their place to correct how you live your life in your own country. And the last one, I'm gonna have a little fun with this one because I know you've seen this. You've seen videos like this. But guys, you gotta have some emotional control. You gotta have emotional control. That's the third one here. So you're seeing like this kind of unruly type behavior here. Like, don't do this. Don't do this. And this is an exaggerated example of it, but don't do this. Don't act like this. If you're overseas and you're upset about something, someone gave you some bad service, don't act like an American. Don't act like this. Don't do it. Because you'll wake up somewhere, and I actually covered this in another video, but you'll wake up somewhere where you might not want to be, okay? And so I'm not going to make this video too long, but I want to remind you guys, you need to have an ability to be alone. You're going to spend a lot of time alone, probably in a hotel room or in your apartment. Even if you have a girlfriend, she's going to go to her family's house. She's not going to live with you. She's going to have stuff to do, and you need to have your own life. You need to develop a life, and you need to be able to maximize your time by yourself. Second, you really need to have an open mind, and don't be judgmental. You're going to see things you've never seen before, experience things you never experienced before. You're going to eat food you've never eaten before. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. Don't be the kind of person that's lecturing people on their customs, because they're going to look at you funny and say, you chose to come here. Why are you judging us? And lastly, you need emotional control. You're going to need it. You're going to feel slighted sometimes. You're going to be in a restaurant, or you're going to be someplace and you're going to feel like someone gave you a quote unquote microaggression or what have you. You're going to have to learn to deal with that. Men, you have to learn stoicism, emotional control. It is more important than your passport, because you can snap at a moment's notice and do the wrong thing, and it could ruin a whole bunch of stuff for you. Okay. So just a quick video to remind you guys, and you guys that are really thinking about, making a transition and moving overseas, think about these 3 things. And if you're in process of getting ready to leave, start trying to develop these things before you buy your plane ticket, and start making your plans and practice these things, because you're going to need the emotional control. You're going to need to be able to be alone by yourself, and you're definitely going to you're going to need to not be judgmental and be open-minded, okay? So anyways, with that, guys, I want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, feel free to comment, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.